It's Actor Talk.
You were fine until you got the kazoo out. It was no problems, and then you had to get the fucking kazoo out. Hello, all coming in from the Mecca Raid, and all those who are parked up waiting. Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I know this is an oddball stream, Tuesday afternoon, evening, whatever it is, where you is. Thank you for joining us. So much going on. I don't know if this is going to be a permanent schedule change. I wouldn't count on that necessarily, but I'm going to be moving and doing all kinds of things the next week or so, and trying to work around everybody else's streams anymore is so difficult. But yeah, welcome one and all. With us today, of course, is our resident physician who has all the cures for your entertainment needs, Mr. Script Doctor.
Hello, good evening.
And of course, the one, the only man with a kazoo that I'd like him to shove it up his kazoo.
We'll just hear it more often then.
Oh, fuck. You're right, he farts a lot. But no one else has a more talented fart than Rob, the voice of Midnight's Edge.
That's right.
Mecca may be joining us soon. No, she said she was finishing up there and her voice was kind of ragged, but we'll see. If not, well, I'm sure she'll join up with us tonight on the High Council, where we're going to talk about horror movies and all that good stuff with Andrew Hawkins from Search of Darkness.
Those movies have a right to make a living just like everyone else. Just because
you love horror movies. I'm talking about horror.
Oh,
with an extra
okay.
R.
That's different.
Yes, it is. Culture Casino sends us a super sticker. All right, like I said, she'll be in a bit. Yeah, we're probably only going to go for about an hour or so. Try to anyway.
I like
go too long because, of course, we don't want to run over and have no time between. But anyway, what you're saying, Rob?
I like those other kind of movies better, though.
Everybody knows this already, Rob. That's like
okay,
not even news.
It's not a revelation.
No. But
anything new in that scene though? Like the last update we got from you was quicksand porn. Is there any sort of new variation since then? What with the coof and all?
No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm sure there's got to be coof porn.
I mean, there's pancake porn. I don't know.
What, pancake porn? Oh, for fuck's sake, Rob.
I don't know.
Speaking of news, anyway, we did get some news. Oscar Isaac has been tapped to star in Marvel and Disney Plus series.
Yes, Moonknight. This has been
Moonknight. Isn't that the theme song?
Probably.
Such a lovely light. It's Moonknight.
That could actually work appropriately for the character. He is kind of crazy.
Moonlight in Japan. There was a bit on the old Howard Channel 9 show where Frank Sinatra had Alzheimer's, but he was just singing all kinds of wacky versions of his songs. Luck be an egg cream tonight. I've got you under my house. How does it go? What is it? All right, let's get on to this. Go look it up. It's a great bit. With his time in the Star Wars franchise coming to an end, Oscar Isaac sets his sights on Marvel Cinematic Universe. Deadline is hearing he's in negotiations to star as in Moonknight in the Marvel Disney Plus series based on the comic, along with Jack Klugman as Oscar Madison and Al Marinaro as Murray Greshler, the cop. The series was centered around two. No, that's a different series. You thought it says Oscar though. No, not a couple. No. Oscar Isaac as Oscar Madison. Would that work?
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jeremy
I hate
Slater.
it when you leave little notes on my pillow. We're out of cornflakes. F you. It took me 2 hours to figure out that F you meant Felix Unger. I can't take it anymore.
It's one of the greatest shows of all time. Jeremy Slater, who developed and wrote a Netflix series adaptation for the Umbrella Academy comic books, which I still haven't seen, but I hear good things about, has been tapped to develop and lead the writing team on the series for the streamer. Moonknight, a.k.a. Mark Spector, is a mercenary who has numerous alter egos, Cabby Jake Lockley and millionaire playboy Stephen Grant, in order to better fight the criminal underworld. But later he was established as being a conduit for the Egyptian moon god Khonshu. Khonshu?
You said conduit.
Yeah. I had a conduit once. Then it broke.
Most recently, the character was a consultant who dresses in all white and goes by the name Mr. Knight.
Mr. Moonknight. Goddess of Whim sends in $2. Says, missed you guys last night. Glad to catch us. Yeah, there was so much going on yesterday. We did not do a... here's Mecha Random. Hello. How you doing?
Did somebody order a harpy?
No, I ordered a harp and it still hasn't shown up.
Full disclosure: the opinions expressed by Mecha on anybody's channel are only Mecha's and do not affect anybody.
Are you
negatively
pre-canceling
in any way.
yourself like I did, or what?
Oh, they put me on the naughty list, and I'm still mad about it.
On the translucent thing.
Transparency tube.
Well, you have a nemesis now. You have an arch nemesis.
I already had one. It was Alex Kurtzman since the Xena days, and then I had there was somebody else. I can't remember.
Yeah, but like Kurtzman's like a second tier villain at best.
This guy is just kind of like.
Oh, this guy is like pure like fucking like I want to punch him in his fucking face.
He's
evil.
like, yeah, he's like Dr. Evil, kind of, yeah. If Dr. Evil were what, competent?
Dr. Evil Kevorkian. Captain Harris sent in $5. Had to choose between rewatching Mr. H's first STD or Rob working on his next ulcer. The Spider-Man news better have a serving of Amy Pascal, punks. Well, of course, she's got herself embedded in the entire thing now, but yeah.
She does? Did I miss something?
Oh, Amy Pascal Productions is all over Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh, Patton Oswalt was one of my arch nemesis.
Oh, really?
He was one of them.
Does he count, though? Because I think he's like everybody's arch nemesis.
That's true.
And Oswalt is... yeah.
He's like a real-life mole man.
Yeah,
he's one of those people who doesn't understand that he's the bad guy.
He could actually play a mole man in the Fantastic Four series.
But who would
he's
want
the right
to
size and shape, and he's got the annoying voice. And
yeah, he was in season 7 of Archer, and he's easily the worst character.
Why is he in everything? He's the reason I quit watching the Goldbergs, and I actually used to like that show.
He must have a
he's
really
in
good...
the Goldbergs?
He does the voiceover, like, because it's kind of like a satire on, like, Wonder Years. Mm-hmm. So, like, you have him doing the voiceover of the adult version of the character. So he's throughout telling the story.
Oh, I did not recognize that voice at first.
Yeah, it's
but then again, I don't
Patton
hear him a
Oswalt.
lot. Oh,
even though the real guy is a real person and he should just be doing his own fucking voice because he is still an actor. It makes no fucking sense. And he's actually, in my opinion, a much better actor. But anyway.
I always liked Wendy McClendon. What is that her name? McClendon?
Yeah, she's great in the show too. That's why I haven't watched it in a while. I want to go back to it, but every time I hear fucking Patton's voice.
She was really good on like Reno 911.
Yeah.
Well, Reno 911 was better than I thought it was going to be, but I was a huge fan of The State anyway. A lot of those people came
loved Reno 911, especially the movie.
Reno 911. I haven't seen the movie. I gotta
really, it's fucking hilarious, dude. And it's
seen it.
Really?
No, I don't think I saw it. Well, I might have seen one of them. I saw is that the Miami one where they did like...
Yeah, there's only the Miami one as far as I know.
Oh, okay, so they have another one.
Do they?
I don't know.
No, they only have the
Quibi
one
series. I was going to say they got the Quibi series now.
Yep, they do have the Quibi series.
That's dead, though.
They were working on a sequel where they got trapped on an island. That you can read in one of their books. It's actually quite funny.
Yeah, because as far as I know, there's just the one. Then you probably saw it, Mecca. It's the Miami one, yeah.
I think I saw that. It's been so long since I've watched it.
It's got that quick scene with the Rock in it. I don't want to give it away.
It's been so long. If I saw it, it was like 20 years ago.
It's the one where, okay, the basic plot is it's kind of like Police Academy 5. So they must actually hold the annual police ball or whatever the fuck it is in Miami for real. because like that's what they go to here in this one too, like Police Academy 5 or whatever. And then like every cop or whatever gets trapped by terrorists or whatever it is, and they're the only.
No, I think they get sick.
Yeah, they get sick, and they're so like they're the only cops around to do anything. That's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was.
Now let's get through the rest of this. Story.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. Everjance sends in $5. I don't think Mecha has an arch nemesis. If she had a little YouTube sister, it would be Vera Dark.
Well, Anna and I have decided that she's our daughter.
Oh, really? Okay, I think I know.
Yeah, because she's kind of like she kind of looks like both of us if we had a kid.
If you gene splice Mecha and a Star Wars girl together, it would be, and they had an offspring, it would be Vera Dark.
Interesting. Vera Dark sounds like a fucking Tim Burton character.
You can probably get her on the channel.
I know. I think you showed me a picture, or I've seen some of her.
Yeah, she covered a lot of like gaming and that type of stuff too.
Yeah, she'll probably come on. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Phoenix. That's why I checked out of MS. I didn't watch the new version because of him.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Well, the first episode of the new MST was basically Patton Oswalt's old stand-up about Fudgy the Whale and crap, and I'm like, I already saw that. I already heard this. And then you got the boring guy who's no Joel or Mike. I mean,
I think he did the same. I think he did the same bit on Archer.
Probably did.
And you got freaking Felicia Day, who I can't stand anyway because she's just another one of these skinny little ugly chicks who are in the geek culture because that's what the norm is. You have these skinny little girls who are ugly but who are geeks. It's like Garfunkel and Oates. It's this whole geek girl stereotype, you know. It's a lot of basically. My friend Pete, everybody knows Pete on Creepy Little Book. He has this way to describe the girls. They're like pretty ugly girls.
Yeah.
They're ugly girls who are just a little prettier than being an ugly girl.
No, they're accessible. That's the hook, I think. You know, I think that's part of the hook.
Oh, I know it's part of their shtick. It's just like, okay, what does it give us? Any of the rest of us who are like, oh, the rest of us get body shamed. That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, Moonknight. You know more about Moonknight probably than I do, Rob, and I'm sure you probably.
Moonknight was always Moonknight was always one of those Marvel comics that my friends used to talk about, but I knew of him, but I didn't read it. But that I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest Moonknight fan. My buddy Noah, probably Jake's probably a bigger Moonknight fan than I am. But he's one of those street level heroes, you know, as kind of like Iron Fist and Luke Cage. So I'll be honest, like I think it's good. I think probably is a good choice, Oscar Isaac. If this is true, the last one turned out not to be true. Tatiana Maslany.
I think this one's legitly done and over with. This might be why Oscar hasn't been badmouthing Star Wars. He's been the only one who really hasn't. You know what I mean?
He's still working for the same boss.
Exactamundo.
Lord.
Yeah, I sent a link to RMB. He shows up from time to time. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, he's like Gandalf.
Yeah, he's like Gandalf. He shows up when he wants to. Or I mean when he means to. Whatever.
Yeah.
In connected news, though, we can get through this real quick. Tom Holland has confirmed Spider-Man 3 has started filming. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is like Homeward Bound, Home Again. Which one? Do we know what the title's yet?
I have no idea.
Home on the Range.
There's a little butt dumpling Miles Morales.
So I'm curious, does that mean they're already done shooting Uncharted then? Because those pictures
probably.
Came out? Yeah.
I don't think it's working concurrently with both movies.
Yeah. That'd be my assumption. So there you go, folks. Captain Harris says with $2, Moon Knight moons the Marvel Universe. Does he do that with or without Deadpool?
I don't know.
Captain Moon Knight.
There was that great mooning scene in Slapshot was actually pretty funny with the bus.
Yeah, I gotta ask too. Somebody asks butt dumpling in chat. What are you talking about with butt dumpling?
It's just like an insult. You call somebody a butt dumpling.
That's new.
I would just call him Blackface Spider-Man.
Okay, well this actually goes with our other story anyway, Rob. This is nice.
He's nice. I didn't think we were talking about that quick. I just kind of want to hold up, but this is pretty funny.
Well, it connects with our last story anyway. There isn't much to talk about today, but yeah.
Yeah, Kazakhstan it tops Borat face but can't pay for much tourism.
Unless we want to get into the other crap, you know.
Did he
Mecca,
steal
I
that
think-
from Viva Variety?
Probably.
All right.
Kazakhstan tourism board adopts Borat catchphrase. Very nice. Hindu campaign for advertising slogans.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was something on Viva Variety, but that one of them said.
I just want to know, how did he film the second movie in secret?
He didn't.
He says he had to do it in costumes and shit in the movie itself. I tried watching it before the show, but I didn't get a chance to.
Okay.
No, I remember when he was going on the when he was at one of the music events that his production team kind of threw together, and I remember hearing stories that the crowd was not reacting the way he intended, so that's why I guess in the final product they only show the same 3 people cheering along with him on his weird song thing.
Well, you have like insider status. I mean, so you probably heard things that I didn't. So.
Well, I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen is legendary for trying to fool a lot of people, but mostly the writer team, like writers in my circle at least, can spot him a mile away because he's always the same height and he always has the same kind of eyes and weird posture that he doesn't ever seem to hide when he's into costume. So it's kind of easy to pick up. But like actors, they don't pick up on that for some reason. They're just too into themselves, I guess.
The phrase is used by the film's character Borat, a fictional journalist from Kazakhstan. The first Borat film caused outrage in the country, and authorities threatened to sue the creator Sacha Baron Cohen. But the country's tourism board has now embraced Borat as a perfect marketing tool, particularly as the second Borat film has just been released. It has released a number of short why can't I say it? Advertisements that highlight the country's scenery and culture. The people in the video then use Borat's catchphrase, very nice. Now there's your turn taking lemons and you're making lemonade.
Well, they got really upset when I think on the Olympics, someone accidentally played the Kazakhstan national anthem from the Borat film and not the real one.
Yeah, it was somebody who was at a shooting tournament actually, and they played the Borat national anthem. Yeah, but they stopped the certain. They
caught themselves a little too late. Like enough people recognized that wasn't the right one. But
the young lady who had the gold medal, she was very she took it very well, and they. She just didn't say anything. She just, okay, you know what? Yeah, just let it just play out.
Oh, I remember, like the people there did, but I remember reading reports that the government representatives from Kazakhstan did not respond well to that.
Well, later on, they played the actual Kazakhstani national anthem. So,
Angelo 14 sends in £1.99, right?
Yep.
Yeah, £1.99.
Hey guys, are you excited for Spider-Man 3 next year?
Kind of.
I wasn't as big a fan of the second film, but I like Tom Holland as a Spider-Man.
I hope he gets to be more Spider-Man-y.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Sister Harrow sends in, or Mecca, are you looking forward to it? Did we lose her?
Sorry, I was just pouring a drink, so I didn't want to splash on the mic. I don't know. I think it'll be fine because I like Tom Holland enough, but I mean, what else are they gonna do with it? I really don't.
Well, I'd like to see where they pick up with the whole him being revealed and all that kind of stuff. We'll see.
I'm curious if any of the rumors are going to be true about needing to team like a certain Captain People with Spider-Man.
Fuck not.
We remember those rumors, which were funny and hilarious.
They'd have to put him in her movie though for it to be worth it. See, the other way around is just going to hurt Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Captain People.
Yeah. Sister Harold sends in $5 Australian. What do you guys have to say for yourself being outed as right-wing channel? Face palms, tongue out, and laugh. Why does the girl symbol now appear in the...
I think that's a shruggy. I don't know. I'm gonna answer on that one. It's not our fault that the left went so crazy that they went pro-segregation, pro-racism, and pro-sexism. I think that's the big one, at least for me. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Well, it's not my fault either, but
Well, I think if anybody caught the live deal last night that the idiot who came up with this whole fucking thing was, maybe we'll talk about it after this Borat thing, but like, yeah, if anybody caught that, you can see he's just a fucking weasel looking for a payday.
he's a smug a-hole.
He's a little snake in the grass, just looking to fucking cash in on shit that he's not good at doing. Evidently.
We'll get into this after.
Yeah, let's do that after this. In fact,
and someone asked in the chat, "Is this real about the Kazakhstan thing?" Yeah, that's real. It is real. If BBC's picking up on it, they rarely get this kind of stuff wrong. I mean, but Borat 2 draws tens of millions of. What was that?
Did you read the Peg Leg Pete super chat?
No, I did not. Peg Leg Pete, Borat defaced a national landmark, one of the giant chalk figures last week, as a prank to promote the film. Lots of people are pissed.
Oh, really?
Really? Whoa.
Yeah, chalk. One of the giant chalk figures last week. What giant
chalk figures?
I'm confused. Yeah.
Borat chalk figures. Let me see what's going on.
Because I gotta imagine anything he would have done, it wouldn't have been something that would permanently destroy.
Borat blasted by National Trust for defacing. What is this? From the Daily Mail. For defacing Cern Abbas giant chalk figure with a mankini. Oh, okay. Well, here, hold on. Yeah, let me send this to you, Tom. But it's as long as it's not permanent damage. I mean, then it's that's the thing. National Trust slammed the defacement of famous Cern Abbas giant chalk figure, following an apparent stunt to promote the new Borat film. Her 8-foot chalk hill figure endorsed it, had a huge face mask placed over its genitals, like
yeah, they can take that off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not permanent damage. I mean, it's not like it's not.
Yeah.
Wear masks, save lives. Well,
better than top on the freaking statue.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, okay. Well, you go. Well, let me.
I didn't even bring it up in the right thing, did I? There you go, so people can see it. Sorry.
Sacha
There
Baron
you go. That's not that big of a deal.
No.
It's just
just get gross sense of humor.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so Borat drew more.
He's nice. Updated. Sacha Baron Cohen's controversial Borat subsequent movie film drew tens of millions of viewers on Amazon Prime Video globally over its opening weekend. The company said, declining to be more specific. An estimate by TV analytics provider Samba TV put the buzzy movie's estimated U.S. viewership at 1.6 million households over its opening weekend on smart TVs. An Amazon spokeswoman said the Samba TV figure is incorrect, but she declined to provide the internet's giant's own internal viewing numbers for Borat. The estimated 1.6 million U.S. households that streamed Borat's sequel on Amazon Prime Video during its opening weekend, Thursday, October 22nd through Sunday, October 25th, topped Disney Plus's premiere of Mulan, which registered 1.12 million household streams over the Labor Day weekend, Samba TV estimated. Of course, that's not an apples-to-apples comparison. Borat is included with Prime Video, while Disney charged a $30 a pop fee for early access to the live-action Mulan that nobody really cares about. Amazon is famously tight-fisted with data. The e-commerce company doesn't even disclose exactly how many Prime members it has. Amazon recently disclosed in January 2020 that it had topped 150 million Prime customers worldwide. According to Amazon, within the first few hours of the Borat watch party last Thursday night, more than 1 million fans tuned in to interact in a live Q&A with Baron Cohen's Borat and participate in a worldwide dance. Sorry, that must have been fun. Sacha has masterfully created one of the most well-received films of these unprecedented times, showcasing some of the best and the worst of us, wrapped in one outrageous moment after another, Jennifer Salk, ahead of Amazon Studios, said in a statement. With the tremendous launch of this global tentpole movie, it's clear our customers around the world want content that is both relevant and entertaining. But who doesn't know what Borat is nowadays, though? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, really, is there script? Are there people you think that really don't know who this guy is?
No, I think everybody knows who Borat is.
He's eating.
My mom
I
doesn't
am
know
eating.
who
I'm
that
sorry. I had to snack on something real quick.
Hey, Comics Division.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Hello.
How's it going, Mecca? How are you doing?
I've been yelling for 3 hours. What's this got?
Yay. Borat, my favorite character.
He's nice.
No, he's not. I hate Borat so much.
Well, we're just talking about how
Yeah.
Borat had more viewers, or did better than Mulan did, technically.
That's pretty funny and pathetic at the same time.
Especially considering it's an R-rated film. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more people wanted to laugh than be reminded how much Disney panders to
Or the
China.
Kung Flu.
No.
Mushu gave me the Kung Flu. Now what do I do?
They should have had a full-on scene with the Carl Douglas song and playing, for Mulan.
So, did you end up watching it, Tom?
What was that? I'm sorry. I pulled my fucking headphones out accidentally.
I said, did you watch Borat? Borat 2.
Oh, I was going to try and watch it before the show, and I didn't get a chance, unfortunately.
I remember Carlos Mencia, when he was still a thing, his brother they did a parody of Borat, Borato.
Did you get to watch it?
Me, no, I didn't get a chance to watch
No,
it.
I was asking comics, but yeah.
No, fuck no. I like I said, not a fan of Borat. I never watched the first one.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like I said, I have some issues with that style of comedy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we're talking about that.
I hate exploiting people's ignorance of a situation, and just like from a lot of stuff I saw with it, it's just like you're just basically making fun of people that I wouldn't say don't know any better, but in the situation don't know any better or just ignorant in general, and I just don't find that funny.
That's fair.
Actually, the only funny thing I ever found on the Borat series is the fact that a lot more people are polite and compassionate to him, even when he's trying to be and elicit a specific response.
Right.
Like it more often than not does not go according to his plan.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how he'll say something like outrageously racist or stupid, and they'll just kind of go along with it, or even, sometimes
Sometimes they go along with it. They try to like.
The thing too, like
they
because
will
of social
sometimes-
awkwardness, people will go along with it because it's like, oh yeah,
Well, not just that. Sometimes they will actually correct him. Other times it's more so like he just lets them roll. Like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that was said by people in the first movie, it was funny that, because I mean, I've seen the first one a couple times. It was like a lot of the people going after him. It's like, even out of context, I don't see how it is that way, but you weren't like, prompted to say a lot of the shit you guys were saying. So I don't understand. And you had your camera in your face, so it's like, I don't understand. And the same thing, goes with the whole Giuliani thing too. Is just like, there's the whole, like, what do you think is going on here if you really find yourself in this kind of a position? I mean, you got to really question the logic of your situation when, you got some young chick.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
I know we talked about this, and like I said, for the most part, if you're not a very attractive individual and a really hot chick comes up to you and is wanting something, or is flirting with you, odds are she either wants something or is trying to use you for something. And I think that's the same case with Giuliani. But of course, I think there was reasonable expectations that the camera was off because she was supposed to be posing as a journalist. And then she invites him back to her hotel room, and that's where, to me, it goes from being, yes, you're on camera, to it feels like a setup, because what actually they used or that picture that they showed was not actually from the film footage from the quote unquote interview, but from a hidden camera. And that's where I kind of have, some issues with that.
Have you ever seen The Dictator?
No, I did not. I have not
started watching that one. See, and that's the thing. I'm not a big fan of all his characters. That one was one I couldn't get into. Ali G, I have to give or take sometimes. The first Borat film I've enjoyed, and I've liked most of the Borat skits I've seen. But again, the reason I like Borat is because he's just that lovable kind of idiot, and it's the way that he plays him. But again, like in his other movies, Sacha Baron Cohen is a pretty good actor. I can't take that away from him, but I totally understand, like, because I'm not a fan of certain types of comedy either. I'm not a huge fan of the whole like Office style comedy that's kind of taken over.
Yeah, same here.
Where everybody's kind of talking to the camera, and then you have like that's why I never got into Parks and Rec. I know everybody loves it, but like I saw the first
funnier
episode,
than The Office. That's why,
and that's what I've heard too. But it's like the first episode I watched was that, you know, talking head camera shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to watch this. I'm sorry. I'm not into this. I don't mind it for a one-off once in a while on a show, but, you know, if they do it every episode, to me, it feels cheap and easy.
Yeah, I agree. And I am getting some comments back about ugly dudes and hot women. Here's the thing, man. If there are definitely really ugly dudes that get hot women. I won't say really ugly. You know, not
they usually got a huge slong.
Well, yeah, it's like that, or
well,
I mean, just because
they can get to revealing that they have a huge schlong.
just because you're, you know, not super handsome doesn't mean you don't have a personality and therefore can't attract those type of women. I'm talking about people who are generally just like unappealing individuals in general. That's basically where it turns into a bit of like a honeypot situation.
I think we lost Mecca somehow. I don't know. All right. Captain Harris says with $5, why laugh at hidden camera stunts when you can indulge in the pain of other sadism is the sweetest ambrosia. Isn't that right, Rob?
Yeah. Mecca had a computer restart for some reason.
Oh, fun. Speaking of that kind of shit, Rob, did you hear that what's his face from The Daily Show is getting his own show on Apple TV now?
Trevor?
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
He was going to have a deal with HBO sometime back too.
Well, I think he had a non-compete clause.
Who are we talking about?
Jon Stewart.
Oh, Jon Stewart. Okay. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, he probably had a non-compete clause for a long time, and he probably didn't want to go on, didn't want to have a new show as a favor to Trevor Noah, that unfunny little turd.
Miguel Hernandez sends in $5. Here's a couple of bucks for luring comic division out of his lair. I'm with you on Borat. I'd rather watch reruns of Big Bang Theory. And that's fair. Like I said, comedy's subjective. So
comics, I know it wasn't for everybody's cup of tea, but did you used to watch The Daily Show?
No, I was never big into The Daily Show.
Okay, all right.
Mainly because I'm, you know, especially back when he was doing TV, I was pretty apolitical then. I've always, you know, described myself as a libertarian, and I wasn't a fan of either party. So it's like I always, a lot of those type of shows I viewed as still being somewhat partisan politics. So even if it is funny, it still has a slant to it. It just wasn't my thing. It's like I understand why people like it, but you know, I was never big into it.
Well, I mean, you know, some of the stuff he used to do was absolutely brilliant, but at the same time, you never have to lose sight of the fact that it was satire.
Yeah,
it was satire of American cable news, satire of American news, and satire of the people who report and make the news.
No, I agree. I think a lot of it too is that people took it way more seriously than they should, and they used it as a source of getting their news, and that's what I think kind of bothered me about it. And you know, on top of that too, the one I thought was really funny that I just so happened to see, and to me it didn't age very well, was him mocking Trump running for president. It was like towards the end of his career, he's getting ready to hang up the hat, and then Trump announces he's running for president. He's like, "Okay, I'm back," and it's like, you know, making all these jokes about Trump and him running, and you know, now he's the president. So I guess the joke's on all of us. I guess, I don't know.
He had a better bit when he made fun of Trump for eating pizza with a knife and fork.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. I love that. There were a lot of really good moments. The Daily Show.
Yeah, but like Jon Stewart was big to constantly remind people that his show was on before Puppets Who Kill. And he's like, don't take us seriously. We're just there to entertain you and entertain, to make fun of the headlines that, you know, the 24-hour news channels were running with.
And one of the things he said, actually, I can't remember. He might have said it to Tucker Carlson on Crossfire or whatever it was, or somebody. I can't remember what it was.
Well, he said it to Bill O'Reilly a number of times.
He said the fact, he goes, oh, but a lot of people think you're a news show. A lot of people come to you for news show. And he said the fact that people are coming to me for news when I am just like a circus clown shows you how bad you have failed at your job. And I always remember that. I'm like, there's a lot of truth in that statement. the fact that the Daily Show was considered a satire show was considered to be serious news shows the failing of the news media.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was a time when a lot of people were getting their news just from the Daily Show. I remember that. But yeah, other than that, tonight on Comics Division, you're going to be talking about this transparency tube situation, are you not?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we did touch on it slightly. We haven't talked about it too much. We did promise everybody we'd bring it up again. I don't know how deeply we're going to get into it. But yeah, give us kind of a preview of what you want to talk about tonight. And Rob, he asked if you'd be there too, but I know you fall asleep at like fucking 9 o'clock.
What time are you going on?
11 o'clock. I know it's like really late, but
yeah, it'll be right after council probably.
Are you on the west? Are you on the West Coast or?
I'm Central Time.
It'll be like midnight your time, dude.
Yeah, it'll be like right after you guys get done with iCouncil.
Okay, well, I'll probably maybe I could drink a couple extra cups of coffee
or take a nap during high council or something.
Yeah.
I'm assuming a lot of you, because judging by the comments I kind of read, saw Adam's live stream with Mark, right?
I saw most of it.
Yeah, I watched yesterday was my anniversary with my wife, so I was completely oblivious as to the live stream where I totally would have been there. Well, thank you.
How many
happy anniversasary?
Let's see. It has been 18 years. So
wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
18 years we've been married.
Congratulations, dude. That's amazing.
Landmark,
for this day and age. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I was disconnected, and I went and made my video last night about it. And
that's why you're still fucking married after 18 years, dude. Right there.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's also the reason why I don't do a lot of like live streams during the day and whatnot or after work, is because I like spending time with my wife, and I'm sure she appreciates me spending time with her as well. So yeah,
you're getting a lot
as long as it's reciprocal, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you're getting a lot of congrats from the chat as well. So
she doesn't complain about your bowling night, I imagine. And,
no, it's not the bowling night she complains about. It's the YouTubing night. But like I said,
but tell her, look at it this way, honey. You can watch the crap I wouldn't want to watch with you anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's what she's doing right now. We're streaming.
You also make a little cheddar on it too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm with you guys hanging out, and she's watching Fear the Walking Dead. So it's a win-win situation. But yeah, tonight I want to talk about some of the stuff that he talked about in the live stream. Even hearing his side of the story, which I understand, and I get it too, as much as I kind of mocked it in the in my video. It is public data that he got. Obviously everybody's issue with this, the fact that they're being mislabeled as being right, because because of the content that they create.
I don't take a problem with the anti-SJW shit, because we are.
Yeah,
and even personally as myself. But, like I said to him, I don't know if you caught that in my super chat.
I did.
Like, yeah, I mean, he made me have to go out and specify my political leanings in a situation I really didn't feel comfortable in doing.
Mm-hmm.
And this, to me, is indicative of this problem. And why this thing is a bad idea, but I'm sure we'll get in way deeper.
Well, yeah, and part of it too, it's like his answer. Oh, it's like you need more labels. Is like, well, yeah, that'll cost more money. It's like, well, so you're being lazy. And I haven't seen just some guy's video. It just dropped, so I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But I will later on. But like I said, for the most part, he is using public data. Just like it would be like somebody that we did an article about complaining that we used it on YouTube. So as much as
that part I totally understand, it's being mislabeled.
The application of the public data, and the other part is like nobody asked him. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there is a lot of that kind of like the intent, and I did talk about a little bit with machine learning and the bias and algorithms, but it's pretty clear, that bias exists within him, because he's talking about he would label himself right if he was making content because of his opinions. And the thing that I find so ridiculous about all this is the fact that there's a lot of people who are anti-SJW that are liberal because they are criticizing their own party or their own group. And it's like, how can you go and police your own group if you're being labeled as right wing at that point? Because you're inadvertently, he's kicking them out of their own positions at this point.
Yeah.
And
right.
And he's solidifying the whole idea that people who are the center, because of the shifting of the Overton window, are now considered to be far right. So, I mean, I've always viewed myself as being a moderate, a centrist, and a libertarian. But it's funny because whenever you say libertarian, people immediately think you're a conservative. It's like there are left-leaning libertarians. So
yeah, I mean, liberal's part of the actual word too. So like,
yeah. Well, I even got a guy in my comments to say, saying full stop, libertarians are conservatives. Like, no, dude, not all libertarians are conservative.
In fact, I don't normally associate it with that.
They've moved the poll so far to the left has gone so far left. They've wrapped around and become the pro-racist, pro-segregationist, pro-labeling bad guys. So
that's exactly it. And the thing is, there's nothing I'm seeing from the right I feel the need to criticize. I mean, there's a few things here and there. It's like I know my audience will completely disagree with me about flag burning, because as much as I find it to be appalling, I do think that is considered to be free speech. Mm-hmm. But that's really not an issue I feel the need to talk about, because it's not an issue at the moment.
Well, the idiots. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said, and there's nothing I'm seeing from the right that I can criticize. I mean, for the most part, they've conceded the position on, gay marriage, and various other things as well. So it's like, I have nothing to criticize.
The position with gay marriage, they're counting with quote unquote religious freedom, but that's we can, that's a whole other discussion, about what the real meaning of religious freedom is. But they've kind of co-opted the message of religious freedom to mean that, I can claim religious freedom, which gives me the right to discriminate against somebody by not making them a wedding cake for two men. I mean, that's how that has evolved. But I don't
understand why people like Hugh of Borg from Star Trek, for example, get up and they hate conservatives so much that they literally can want to exclude them. And now I've got Marina Sirtis. I'll get into her in a second here. She just tweeted while I was trying to reconnect here. But people like the guy who plays Hugh of Borg is a gay man who wants to be married, and he wants to bully and berate and shame anybody who might want to vote on taxes or whatever their opinion is if they happen to be voting more conservatively, because for some reason they have this hatred of conservatives and people who are not on the alt far left that I find absolutely appalling and not very liberal and not very inclusive. And now you have Marina Sirtis basically berating the choice of Supreme Court justice. She says, "I hope #RBG haunts the bejesus out of her."
Oh, good Lord. I mean, seriously, this is TDS to the T at this point.
Old.
It really is. I'm tired of it.
And
there's no, I mean, hold on. Cesario Japan, $5 She-Hulk, wife of Count Dankula. Sue-Hulk. Okay. Wife of Count Dankula got labeled as right despite her channel being only about baking pastries, unboxing, and IVF. IVF? What's IVF?
Is that in vitro fertilization?
Yeah, but the reason why is because her husband is Count Dankula.
Yeah, guilt by
I didn't realize that they were married at this point, but yeah.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Chris Rock said a long time ago he said that people aren't always one or the other. You can be liberal on certain policies, you can be conservative on certain policies. He said, on crime, I'm liberal. On crime, I'm conservative. Prostitution, I'm liberal.
Well, this is the other thing you got to remember. Don't fucking fight the cops, and they probably won't murder you. There's a really good chance if you don't shoot at them first, they're not going to kill you. And the fact
or charge at them with a knife, apparently.
Oh yeah, and the fact that the alt-left wackadoo hate mob decides that I guess they're less than them and need special treatment and need to be allowed to do whatever they want. I guess I don't know how that's not racist, but
yeah.
And this is where you get into this whole labeling of the.
Okay, we're being accused of being gaslighting in the chat by a couple of left-leaning people. Guess what, folks? If you'd have watched Midnight's Edge yesterday, I am fucking too. And so is Rob. So welcome to the fucking real world. That's the problem with this fucking thing. And if you want to run away like little pussies because you can't deal with people who have fucking opinions that go against the norm, then guess what? You're just like them. Go be with them then if that's what you fucking want. I really don't care at this point. I'm going to be just as fucking pushy as everybody else because I don't want to be on that fucking list. I don't deserve to be on that fucking list. Midnight's Edge has never been political. We're being pulled into political shit. It's
the
bullshit.
reason why you're being pulled in is because you're considered to be anti-SJW because you talk about fighting against the identity politics and SJWs. That's the reason why you're being pulled into that. And to me, that is not just a right-leaning issue or a right-leaning talking point. That's the thing I find so absurd listening to him last night earlier today, talking about this is the fact that he's being against social justice and a lot of these lunatic policies that people want to put in place to just be solely right-leaning of an issue, which it's not.
And I've always been more of a left-leaning person, but in the last few years with all this bullshit going on, I've really started to question where the fuck I stand. I become more of a centrist than
when I originally took my political compass test, I was slightly left-leaning libertarian. I basically moved like 2 squares over, or I think it's maybe just 1 square over. And it's like, I'm barely on the line on the right now. And I'm like, it's like, I don't think my views have changed that drastically.
No, they did.
Exactly. It's because they haven't.
No, the people out there have decided that everything is now like they've taken everything to the extreme. They've taken everything to this, oh, well, if you complain about Michael Burnham, you're a racist. Well, that has nothing to do with the color of her skin. They see everything through the lens of race and color. And here's the thing. Here's what's really, really dangerous about this list. Take somebody like me who doesn't vote, doesn't get political, doesn't even know what 2 years ago, I didn't know which wing was which. I didn't know if the left wing or the right wing, which one was conservative or liberal, because I was so out of it and clued out of politics. But I am pro-equality.
The only wings you cared about were buffalo wings, right?
Yeah, I don't even like those. But I was not political, but I was pro-equality, pro-civil rights, pro-choice, pro all of these things that are very liberal sort of things. And no, I'm not going to get into an abortion debate. That's just something that's not worth talking about because nobody's going to come to a consensus on that.
Agreed.
Agree to disagree. So here's the thing with a lot of this stuff with how this list is. You take somebody like me who doesn't know a lot of the shit, but you have some values, but you don't get involved and don't get associated because of George Carlin, that this country was bought and sold years ago. It doesn't really matter anymore, but it does now, I guess. But you take somebody like me who doesn't know that shit, and you see somebody like Tim Pool going spouting off about leftists, and you're like, oh, who's this right-wing nut job? And I owe him a huge apology.
Not right wing either.
Yeah, and he's not. I owe him a huge apology because all I saw was this guy yelling about leftist, and I didn't know that was a term that they were labeling themselves because I'm not political. And that's what's dangerous about this is you get some of these people who are going to be forced to choose a side because the crazy people out there are actually literally taking things to the point of violence. And I've had threats already, and I've had crap already because a lot of these crazy people who don't know the difference and don't look at facts and don't understand information and don't understand that violence and bad are going to see that, and it's going to paint a bigger target on us than we already have. And that is the problem with all of a sudden how being right-leaning or being labeled as such, you might as well have a Star of David on you, and it might as well be World War II and just line up for the gas chamber because that's where we're headed. And I do not want to fucking head there. I do not want to have a label, whereas this label is going to be the thing that is socially acceptable to be prejudiced against.
Oh, yeah, because a label can become a numbered tattoo real fucking quick.
Yep.
Matt G sent in $2. Where's the extreme alt middle? LOL. Yeah, we are the extreme alt middle.
Exactly.
At this fucking point.
And the other thing too, what's really scary about a lot of the stuff, I've talked about this a little bit on my channel, probably nowhere near enough. You need to look into the Great Reset that's being pushed by, oh God, I think it's the World Economic Forum.
Oh yeah, they're
It's
suggesting it, and then the government are actually
It's
biting.
scary, and they're definitely pushing intersectionality as well, and they're using the COOF to try and do this stuff, and it's pretty frightening. So that's a really easy way for them to get these policies in place. And for all of you who disagree, you just might end up in a gulag someplace.
They're proposing the policies, and because the way the United Nations works as it being a forum, it's up to the countries to adopt them and into their own stuff. So get out there and vote, and make sure your voices are heard, that you don't want to partake in some of these things that are literally designing us to be in some form of servitude.
Yeah.
And I don't like that I have to. I don't like that I have to overcome all this anxiety, overcome this whole tribalistic mentality of I'm still pissed about being pushed out of that side, but at the same time, I don't want to be on a side that's pro-violence, pro-segregation, and pro-racism and pro-prejudice against people based on the color of their skin and their gender. I am not pro any of that. I'm not pro-labeling. I'm so pissed, and this is why I've been kind of having like this meltdowns, because I've been seeing it in front of my face for the past year that I was absolutely wrong about a lot of shit, and there's a lot of shit I didn't want to admit to because of having to be forced to see it on social media. You see exactly what the clip is that they're quoting, and their headline is different, and they do the same thing in politics as they do in entertainment. Remember, every time that they tell you, oh, Star Trek Discovery is hopeful and optimistic, meanwhile they blow somebody's head off and claw somebody's eyes out.
Yeah.
And shovel a corpse into a hazmat container.
Rob, you look like you want to say something that I was going to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read up on this Great Reset thing because I gotta.
I'll shoot you some links, Rob. It's definitely worth looking into.
Well, Willie Woodward brings up a point
how you can
here.
change your vote too.
Willie Woodward brings up a
point.
Only a couple states allow that.
Yeah,
you're in one of them.
I live in a
state. You can change it.
I live in a solidly blue state. Regardless,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I registered.
On top of that, Rob, here's something you should know as well. Build Back Better. That slogan Biden's using, he took it from the Great Reset.
Rob, I sent you the actual footage of the Ukrainian, the conference from the Ukraine, where they play an hour of footage where they flat out say a certain vice president who was under Obama, who was going and saying, here's $1 billion cash, Mr. President of Ukraine. Here's $1 billion cash to come in and we want you to put these people in place. We need you to change out your what's the word? Not affiliates. You're a
judge. He made a point about somebody firing a judge.
Yeah, that whole judge thing over there with the whole that has to do with his kid thing. Right. And I don't want to get into that deep of the part of the politics. What I want to get into here is what Willie Woodward's saying, and this is something that the guy who made this stupid fucking thing brought up last night. And the point he says is asking to be taken off the list only provides ammunition because it brings up the question, what are you trying to hide or being whiny? Now, that's what that guy was trying to say. But Tree Rock here has, in my opinion, the correct answer to that. And that is your political views should be private.
Yeah,
what this guy is doing. Yeah, what this guy is doing is political intimidation or voter intimidation.
Voter intimidation.
He's causing people to have to express what their true feelings are, which they shouldn't have had to in the first place, especially if there's somebody who are very politically neutral like we are. I mean, because we're also a channel made up of more than just one person. Yeah. And our main person, the owner of the channel, isn't even fucking American.
And I wasn't even registered to vote until last night.
So there you go.
That's how I just don't like politics.
It's gotten way out of hand now. We're getting pulled into politics we don't belong in, and that's what's bothering us.
One of the things that nobody asked him, and I'm kind to, and I would like the opportunity someone to ask him, if not me, someone else. What is your end goal with this? What are you trying? You can't have done this out of the for some altruistic.
I can tell you. It is to. No, I can tell you it is to label and separate and segregate and have this class of people who all fall under this one world government that means all of the biggest people, all the political players, all the puppet masters who pull the strings have been funneling all this money away for years and years and years and all their little shady backdoor deals. And that's why they've all been on the same side. That's why I didn't vote. And they're using that to collapse the economy, to make everybody dependent on a specifically a centralized government.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely crazy.
And it's going to cause a lot of destruction in the meantime because we have a bunch of people who can't even fucking adult out there who are just laying over and letting it happen and begging for it because they don't want to fucking get a job.
Well, let Rob speak. Yeah, sorry.
I think I think, like I said, he can't have done this. He can't have done this out of the goodness of his heart or to make YouTube a better place. My personal opinion is that he's trying to make a buck off of this. He's trying to reverse engineer this data to take it to YouTube and say, look, I have an algorithm you can bring to advertisers that classifies, and he's trying to put together some kind of, so that he can put together some kind of blacklist
Mhm.
This is definitely a
Pretty
blacklist.
much.
Yeah, it is.
That's the other
And the
point,
problem
yeah.
with that, and the problem with having this is that it is going to be used to have this hit list against all of us, and he's in and I don't even think he's trying to make a buck out of it. He kind of reminds me of the guy that's going to throw the women and children in front of him while he runs, so they get eaten by the zombies first.
You know, Mecca, I believe you, but I have a feeling you're wrong in this instance, and you want to know why? Because if he was not trying to make a buck on it and he genuinely was trying to do it for good intentions, he would have last night realized what he was doing was wrong, and the ramifications, not just between you, but everybody else, and even Adam Friend and everybody else who was talking to him. Like, I think at that point, if he would have genuinely wasn't in this for some kind of fucking kickback, he even brought up, Robbie, you even said something about if he added more categories, it would cost more money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is trying. He's like I said, I think he's trying to make a buck off of this.
I think he's trying to shove us in front of the herd before they come to him. I think he's trying to sacrifice us to the mob because we're more prominent.
There was a guy named George Hotz a bunch of years ago. He was sued by Sony for reverse engineering their trying to reverse engineer their programs, and he exposed the PlayStation 3 system keys for the world. He published them to the world, and he was sued by Sony. And now he got a lot of trouble for that. But that's what he regardless. Listen,
I bet you he's working for Sony now.
No, he's not.
I'm surprised.
No, because that was the thing. He said, "Oh yeah, okay. You don't want me to publish system keys? Give me a job." And they said, "Go get lost. Or soon you're fucking
dumb
ass.
shits." But still, he got worse in the end. But still,
that was what he did. He would reverse engineer stuff for whatever it was, and he would go to these corporations. Oh, look, I made your thing better, and they said we didn't ask you. And to me, that's exactly what.
In a way, yeah. But see, here's the difference. That guy's testing somebody's security. This guy is doing exactly what you guys are saying. He's creating a hit list or a blacklist, and he's doing.
I don't think he's actually trying to do it, though.
No,
I mean,
not necessarily.
He could be lying, though, but.
Here's what he's doing.
Exactly what's it's going to be used for. And the other thing too, just to let you know, I invited Clownfish TV on tonight.
Awesome.
It's a little late for them, so they're not going to make it. But yeah,
I've been trying to get a hold of them anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, I actually shouted them out in my video last night, and they actually made a comment. It was like, "Hey, thanks for the shout out." I was like, "Oh wow!" It's like that's cool.
They popped into our morning show, and we said, "Hey," but I reached out to them via email a while back, and I still ain't heard from them yet. But
I DM'd them on Twitter, so that's I was having.
They don't follow me, so I can't.
Oh, okay, I got you. I follow them; they follow me, and I was having. I'm guessing it's Neon. I was having a bit of a conversation. That's why I was silent.
But Willie Woodward says, I put on ME Facebook page my view on how we're not tackling Transparency Tube. Also, some points in the chat, we got to fight smart. I'll try and look into that, Willie. There's just so many moving parts to this. And I mean, I get, you understand some of the technical aspects of this a little bit more than others may. So I'll definitely try and check out what you wrote. But yeah.
I noticed there were a couple times that he didn't have an answer to quite a few things.
No, very smug and arrogant.
Let me rephrase.
He was very certain with his decisions. That was the thing. There was no persuading him, and that was the thing that I found kind of frightening. Was the fact that he was like, you see the potential for danger for this, and he's like just kind of like brushing it off. It's like he's like, dude, it's like I pointed this out, and I think even Adam pointed this out. It's like this can be used to harm both sides, and
that's
like,
the thing.
It's like once they purge out all of us who are centrist and maybe kind of right leaning, they're going to start going for the other individuals who are not bending the knee that are on their side.
Exactly, and that's okay. Let me rephrase what I was saying before. He actually said what he made this for earlier, and it's going to end up getting used for what you said. Comics, but what he said he made it for was like news outlets and stuff like that, so they have a better idea of when they're talking about all these channels and all this other stuff where they lean. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get the intention for it, but he's still looking to make a paycheck out of it, and he knows
absolutely.
I think the potential of something like this, and that's why he refuses to take it down or change anything.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's just gonna get sued if any of us gets actually attacked or hurt for it, and I've been keeping track of my algorithm.
He is going to try to turn this into some sort of subscriber-based system that people will pay into, and says, "Oh, look, I have a list. You subscribe to my list for all the latest updates. That's what I think he's going to try to do. He's going to try to monetize this list at some point because there's
he'll
no
do whatever
way.
he can with it.
Well, anything like that.
Well, finish your thought, Rob.
Depending on what he's using machine learning wise, that's obviously going to cost money if he's using Google or Amazon to do it. It's, there's obviously money that is going to be required for this project that he has. So yes, he has to make money or he's going to be pouring his own, money into it. So who knows? I'm pretty sure it is for profit at some point. Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. But like I said, it's just like I said. There's no way that this does not become some sort of blacklist for YouTube.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I know they're going to use it against us. This is the exact key they've been waiting for.
Yeah, and this is all it's going to take is for someone. I don't care who it is. If it's Anita Sarkeesian or some Bot out there is going to weaponize this.
They already do.
I was going to say, Google's already proved they're more than willing to weaponize something like this.
Yeah, they already weaponized Brie Larson with the See, okay, here's what happened. So I talked to somebody I've known for a very, very long time, and they actually work in a lot of this industry, and they said that because of all of this, the breakdown of society that has been going on for the past 20 years, this, this anti-family sort of all of it is connected, and it all goes into the woo stuff, and it's a little conspiracy theory, but it's actually true. So it's not even a conspiracy anymore. But because of all of this, they have ended up hiring a lot of unqualified diversity hires like Kathleen Kennedy. And think about having that in infrastructure and in everything else. Think about what type of damage they did to Google as a search engine, as an algorithm for YouTube, when they started telling it that it was wrong by predicting how much people liked Brie Larson or liked the Brie Larson videos just to protect her. Think about how much damage that did to a lot of the stuff that is run off of Google and YouTube and all of these things. They do these things against their own best interest, like hiring the Kathleen Kennedys and hiring the people who are not qualified for this shit. And what happens? Bridges collapse. Star Wars fails. All of these, and it's probably happening everywhere in the world. And you have
shit like this already.
Yeah.
Like one view, but 13 upvotes. How's that factor in?
Yeah.
Timothy Wolf with $1.99 says, thanks all, I'm right and appreciate the combo. You didn't have to out yourself. Like, that's the thing. Nobody should have to say what side they're. If you're proud and you want to, that's fine. But to me, I'm one of those people where I was taught to keep it to yourself, and only discuss politics with certain people. People that are family members you trust, whatever, to talk
or
politics.
At a town hall.
Want to debate politics.
Or at a town hall, yeah. Sister Harrow sends in $5 Australian dollars. Great discussion and panel and chat. Well, thank you so much. And some of it's going to carry over to High Council, but we're going to talk some scary movies and stuff over there. And then later on tonight, Comics Division is going to really break down this stuff with us, at least me, myself anyway, and whoever else shows up. I have no idea.
Hopefully, Rob, and I know that Stephen Walton's going to be there.
Awesome.
But the thing that is really absurd about all this, I mean, the whole thing with right and left, it used to be about policy. The Republicans believed in a certain set of policies, and then the Democrats believed in a different set of policies, and there was obviously some overlap. And eventually that all stopped being the case and really started being about, identity at some point. And I'm guessing I really started noticing it back in 2012, right around Occupy Wall Street, right after the whole thing with Sandy Hook. And I just happened to start noticing, people saying a lot of shit about white men. And I kind of blew it off. I didn't really pay attention. It wasn't until like a couple more years later where I really started to see it. And I was just like, what's an SJW? What's this nonsense I'm listening to? And then I stumbled onto Francesca's Ramsey's videos with Decoded. And I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Why don't I believe this stuff? And then I found the YouTube skeptic community. I was like, oh, thank God I'm not insane. There's other people that think this shit is dumb too. And you kind of have that kind of awakening to what is going on, the shift in culture, the shift in politics. And it really is like, why can't we go back to where the things were in the 90s? It was so much better.
I miss the 90s.
Oh yeah, the simple politics where the Dems wanted to spend money and then the Republicans wanted to spend money, but if the other side was in power, they just
the
didn't
money
want to
was
spend
just
money.
going to be going to the military instead of like social programs. I mean, that's like the big fight in the 90s, right? I mean, it's just,
we need new pipes and plumbing. No, we got to go to war.
yeah. But the funny thing is, like now, the funny thing in the age of Trump is that you have these disenfranchised Republicans running to the Democratic Party because basically they're still the establishment for the most part, and it's really weird, listening to my wife want to vote for someone like Hillary Clinton, who is very pro-war, and she being very anti-war. It's like, how can you support a president or a candidate that's just going to get us more into more war in the Middle East if you're so against it? But it's because of vagina, whatever.
Well, vagina is a very powerful thing.
Yes, it is. Toxic man flu is also a very powerful thing. With $5 says, remember, the machine gun was invented to prevent deaths in war. Road to hell.
Yep. Prevent your side from dying.
and a main point I guess Willie wants to make is that on the site it claims it's for political and cultural. It's a political and cultural site, so that's why we should fit into that equation. But I don't see how that works with the political side of things when we're trying not to be political.
If we were in a more saner time and we didn't have cancel culture, exactly. I don't think anyone will really have an issue with it. But that's kind of the thing is this is just as I said in my video, a one-stop shop for you to go and find all the people you want to cancel for all your canceling needs.
Right. I mean, Midnight's Edge has always wanted to be nonpartisan. It's never wanted to be political. The only reason we've gotten involved is because of the whole, politics in our Star Wars and Star Trek and Ghostbusters and shit.
Yeah, the second you say Star Trek Discovery is bad, they're like, Trump supporter. Okay, what?
I talked about the ghost seats with the Captain Marvel, and it's like I had people immediately assuming I was a Trump supporter, saying lock her up in my comments, and I'm just replied back as I didn't vote for Trump. So
I did that story about AMC theaters, and I had to mention Donald Trump as part of the story. There was just no way around it because that was a significant development in the in the policies toward China and everything. And I got such shit from people in the comments. I'm like, listen, guys, like it or not, I had to mention it. There was no way to do the story without saying it. Mm-hmm. But
you got to remember, these same people want to erase history. Rob, go ahead.
Like I said, these are grown ass people who can't adult, and they have been so hypnotized by everywhere they go, every comedy show, every politician, or every late night with this one, or mid afternoon with that one, or every TV show, every movie, every piece of entertainment, every sitcom, every video game is Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad.
But yeah,
this is how you hypnotize and socially condition the masses for no goddamn reason other than to subvert the guilt from your own self to place the blame on your convenient scapegoat. You just keep saying it over and Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad over and over and over again.
But do you even know why the Orange Man is bad? That's the funny thing. If you ask these people, they don't know.
They say he's racist, and I'm like, so what's the difference?
It was actually
okay. Yeah, Rob, go ahead.
It was actually a lot of pro-Trump people that were really angry at me for daring to suggest that daring suggest to put him in and include in the story. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, I had to include him.
We had the opposite issue when Andre brought up his son-in-law too in another story. It was the opposite kind of reaction. So
yeah,
again, we just report the news as it is, guys. We try to keep our personal politics out of everything. Like, we don't like to get into our personal politics. It's just, I mean, we give our opinions on shit, but anyway.
How dare you say you're not, because I specifically said in that video, we're not a political channel. How dare you say you're not political when obviously you're political. You talk about Ghostbusters. Like, we're not a political channel, and we don't normally cover politics. Now I'm working on the G.I. Joe documentary, and there is a section where I say that because Ronald Reagan deregulated the FCC and children's television in the 80s, that paved the way for a lot of the cartoons we saw and a lot of the stuff we saw, because now it could become essentially a 30-second infomercial. Isn't that correct, Tom?
Yeah.
A 30-minute infomercial, yeah.
Or 30-minute commercial, yeah.
30-minute commercial for robots and
But
disguise.
that's the brilliance of it is the fact that those that were working on that show had the full reign to make it a 30-minute infomercial, but they chose not to. They chose to give it something of depth and value beyond just selling the toys.
Exactly. I mean, you had professional writers on there, but at the same time, without that decision, we would have never gotten things like Transformers or G.I. Joe or He-Man. But, so guys, hey, listen, don't kill the messenger.
Well, and sometimes you just can't avoid the politics. It's just
that's the thing I think we're at right now is because of everything that's going on, we can't avoid the politics anymore because it's become so ingrained in our entertainment now. Unfortunately, we have to talk about these things.
Well, it's party politics that get ingrained. I mean, all of our stories have, the barest minimal type of politics is just good versus evil. That's politics at its barest, and that's kind of as far as you need to go with entertainment. But the thing is, for some reason, in the last 20 years, they decided to make it drawn on party lines with party platforms and
politics
whatnot,
was
injected
usually
into
portrayed
various
as bad in movies, remember?
Oh, gee, now they're demeaning Han Solo for being handsome in this new Empire Strikes Back story.
Wait,
Timothy Wolf.
Thanks, Bounding into Comics, for covering it.
Oh, God.
We'll check that out in a second. Timothy Wolf sends $4.99. TransTube is all about the fact that it is okay to go after the right or those who perceived ideas, some as on social media. And I think that's kind of the point we're getting to, and it kind of goes to what another thing that Willie is saying here. The problem is here's the thing. I've already told the dude to take us off. If not, he's not done either. He's not asked us where we lie politically. And if they actually paid attention to most of these channels instead of had the same 3 people fucking working on this thing.
Well, this is also the problem with the bias of the algorithm, like I was saying.
Well, they actually had, he even said they had 3 actual people looking, but they just looked at titles. They didn't watch the fucking videos. So they're just going by just random bullshit. They had nothing to go on. And if you actually listen to shit in these videos, then it's very clear 9 times out of 10 where many of these people stand, especially like somebody like Jessie Milestone, who's clearly on the left, but yet her channel is lumped in with the right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's a really shitty, it doesn't work. His shit don't work. It's just like the Netflix fucking algorithm bullshit back in the day. No matter how many times it kept trying to make me watch Fast and the Furious 12, no, I don't want to watch it. Okay? I don't care what your fucking system says. I'm not going to enjoy it. Anyway, Toxic Man Flu sends in $2. That's something I do enjoy. It started with the schools back in the 90s. Sort of? I don't remember. Hey, Ords, how you doing? I don't remember my school being that bad. Like, I mean, I think I was raised pretty good in my school. Like, again, my teacher taught us, you keep your politics to yourself. I don't ever remember any of my teachers overtly bringing up politics. In fact, they avoided subjects that got into like politics and religion in that respect, especially like things like, when it comes to like pro-choice and stuff like that.
My economics teacher in high school was very much so an out Democrat. He was very, very, very proud Democrat and had no qualms talking about it.
See, we didn't talk politics in high school unless it was the political science class.
yeah. Well, there's poli-sci too.
And the only time there was ever politics mentioned beforehand, there was like a couple of teacher strikes when I was in school, and the teachers would, right before the strike would start, the teachers would, complain and do what they want to do. The ones that didn't say anything went back to work once the strike was done. The ones that did say all the stuff never got a job again. Like they were kicked out because they're the ones that I guess the administration felt were manipulating children and their parents through their opinions on what their political leanings were. So that was the 90s in Southern Ontario. So I don't know what the rest of North America was doing in that time, but at least I had a decent board of education to cut that crap out.
I think, a major part of it too was when the fairness doctrine was dropped from the FCC, and then you could have, because usually like when something would be labeled, when there would be a commentary, like Walter Cronkite would do a commentary, it would be labeled commentary, and you'd have to give both sides equal time. But when the fairness doctrine got dropped, like, okay, it was just, all right, guys, all bets are off. Anybody can say whatever the hell they want. And so then, everybody just had free reign, no matter how crazy. Oh God, what's this?
In a further attempt to demasculate or emasculate and demean and destroy our male heroes, they already killed him. I mean, what else can they do? Get mad at him for being handsome?
they can just make him not as cool as he used to be. I mean,
that's not how feminist works.
Yeah, that's not how feminism works. No, I mean, see, I mean, look at the whole thing with the movie Solo, and look how much they took away from that character rather than adding to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like everything he got was from somebody else. He actually didn't work to get anything. He didn't, play the long con. It's a very depressing movie if you're familiar at all with any of the legacy canon around Han Solo. And it's like, oh, you were this good guy all along. Nudge, nudge, nudge. It's like, no, man, he was a fucking scoundrel. Let the guy be a scoundrel.
The story follows Chase Wilsore, the character who walked between Han Solo and Princess Leia as the two bickered. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, they're trying to make another love triangle?
So leaving Hoth Bay was dead John at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back. Wilsore is currently the trainee of Lieutenant Dana, who wants to stop being a delivery boy and instead be assigned sentry duty. However, when he tries to request the promotion from General Riken, he's given another delivery assignment, much to his chagrin. However, the delivery does take him to a sentry point where he doesn't even enjoy being at the sentry point while delivering his package. Lee writes, Chase grabs the other crate, his eyes stinging in the cold wind. He can't even enjoy being out here at the sentry point. God, this is written terribly. Being able to see the sky and the sunshine. Ice and snow stretch out into the endless horizon. Nothing on the tundra. Everything swaths of the same. Is that even the correct usage of that word?
I don't think so.
I have no idea.
Everything swaths of the same off-white, white and gray and blue. Oh, for God's sake.
Well, swath is like a space covered by like a stroke or something, like, isn't it?
The proper usage is that nothing on the tundra, endless swaths of the same off-white and blue.
I think that's accurate.
The unrelenting ice piled for centuries upon the glacial expanse.
What the hell are you reading, Rob?
That's my own interpretation.
Yeah, what you did was a bit more proper, yeah. Because I'm familiar with swaths like in like farming and stuff like that, like swaths of grain or something like that.
Yeah.
Fields of wheat, a tremendous amount of wheat. Anyway, not only does Wilsore not enjoy being at sentry points, but it's real that he's more than likely incompetent. And so why is everybody incompetent at sentry duty? And thus is why he's been assigned delivery jobs. Then he'd be kicked out of the rebellion if he was incompetent.
Well, incompetence is the easiest flaw to give a character when you don't know how to write.
Yep. Make him an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
One of the sentries comments, is it true Wilsore tripped over his own feet during weapons training and destroyed 3 barracks? Wilsore also previously admitted he is incompetent. Oh, for Christ's sake. He's incompetent while talking to General Riken. I know that I'm not good with weapons, sir, or hand-eye coordination, or fighting, or anything that really, or any of that really, but I could take shifts as sentry duty. I really, oh, for Christ's sake. I'm bored with this already.
That's not how writing works.
All right, guys, yeah. I gotta go bail.
Yeah, we're gonna check out here soon anyway because it's already going on 7:30. So thanks so much, Comics Division, for popping in. I will see you later. I can't speak for Rob, but
Rob, man, if you can make it, I'd love to have you. I know that I think a lot of us have a lot of hate, and hate keeps us warm and awake.
But if you haven't already, go check out Comics Division's channel so you can not miss the show later on tonight. If I said that correctly. Yes.
I think you did. Take care, everyone. I'll catch you later.
Take care, Comics. See you later, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. Tim Scorpion with $2 says, yell at the editor for the grammar like last time.
Proofread your shit.
Proofread your shit. Oh, now they've just broke Rob. You want to read this one, Bill or Miguel Hernandez, about Bill and Ted?
Miguel Hernandez, $5. Except when it comes to Bill and Ted 3, Midnight Edge is one of the most objective news sources I follow.
I don't understand how we're not objective about that, too. We just gave our fucking reviews, man. We didn't get nothing for it.
Not the greatest movie I've ever seen, but still entertaining. What's wrong with this?
A fine addition to the series, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not just us. So you're going to have to accuse not only Script Doctor, but everybody from Ords who's in the chat right now to World Class Bullshitters. Quite a few other people who enjoyed it. I think Yellow Flash might have enjoyed it, if I'm not mistaken. Carter Platt Garrett didn't like it at first, but he kind of came around to it a little bit the second time, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, it's not it's not the best movie in the series. Don't get us wrong. I mean, nobody ever said that. It was just nice and refreshing to see something that wasn't, all men are bad and trashing an entire franchise. And it's not like Bill and Ted is, this big, huge, never-ending vast franchise like Star Wars and shit either. So, I get it. If you didn't like it, it is what it is,
It's fine. You don't like it, you don't like it. What can you do?
Yeah.
There's a few people I know that I didn't like it, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair. And some of the reasons they didn't like it are totally fair, too. Some of them I didn't find very fair, I mean, what can you do? But it is what it is. That's my personal opinion, and that's yours. But I'm not so sure that that's a way to judge our objectionability, or however you want to put it. But yeah. So yeah, if you want to see us talk more about, well, at least me talk more about Transparency Tube, join us on Comics Division and head on over to World Class. We're going to be starting there in a little bit. We got Andrew Hawkins coming in talking some horror movies and stuff he's working on In Search of Darkness Part 2 right now.
I told you, Tom, not to belittle those movies. They have to earn a living too.
How am I belittling?
You call them horror movies.
It's still not belittling. We're going to talk about them though.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're not proud of what they do, man.
They're making money.
You're the one that was just complaining about me belittling them, and now you're... No, anyway.
I don't know.
Objectivity, yes. Thank you, Sander. I can't talk right now. I can't talk ever. That's why it's a good idea for me to go on to the High Council where I can't talk. Derpcorn. I haven't done the Derpcorn in a while. Derpcorn.
Oh,
yes,
Lord.
We know Captain Robert April. Rob has just got to be Rob.
I know.
Did you listen to that thing I sent you?
Not yet. What?
Oh, Jesus, Rob.
No. That's
not bad.
That is pretty good.
Yeah. Is that for like a Real Boneheads of Cinema thing?
No, that's in our recent video, actually.
Oh.
But I have it for whenever we talk, because we brought it up I don't know how many times now. I gotta add some like little voice in there from like a little chipmunk voice for like Kevin Feige going like Spider-Man.
What?
Well, usually that part's left blank, so like, because Andre or whoever can say, and then there was the time that Amy Pascal reportedly threw a sandwich.
I must have missed that visual because I remember he listened to Andre say that he threw a sandwich at
and then
him.
you hear the yeah.
Oh Lord. So anyway. So Tom, did you get a chance to listen to any of that John Lennon box set or not?
Yeah, it's just like I told you, it's just kind of it's a greatest hits album. Yeah. If you have like his 2-disc greatest hits, I think it's all the same shit.
Yeah, Working Class Hero or whatever it's called.
I think so. I could send it to you, but it's probably a lot of repetitive stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't too impressed with it. The only main reason I got it is because they had a Blu-ray with 5.1 mixes, and I already have Imagine in 5.1 on Blu-ray, but I got his other greatest hits, I guess.
This is like the fourth or oh god, I don't know how many greatest hits.
The one I want is like 4 discs from like almost 20 years ago now, probably.
90s, the early 90s?
Maybe not. Maybe a little later, but it's like a 4 or 5 disc set. It's called like John Lennon in New York or something like that. It's really hard to find, but it's got a bunch of the demo shit on it. And there's a version of Wheels on there that I love 10 times better than the actual album cut. And they use the version I like in the movie, and ironically in the movie we just talked about the other night, Funny People. with Adam Sandler and your favorite guy,
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, yeah.
Oh, the movie Funny People going to have a really good soundtrack. Oh, we got the John Lennon song on there. You never heard that before.
I'm sure it's on YouTube. Maybe I'll find it and you'll see the difference. You know the song I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Watching the wheels go round and round, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of got a poppy kind of old school rock kind of tune to it. Well, there's an acoustic version that to me just captures it better. I don't know. I'll send it to you. But anyway, yeah, if you haven't checked that out, that's a great box set. You can get it cheaper on Amazon than what I fucking paid for it. Yoko, you little bitch. I hope you choke on it.
Supposedly she's not doing very well these days, though.
Well, I saw that in some stores they had both box sets there. Like she must have got her own box set too.
Who got her own box set?
Yoko.
Oh.
Because there was one there. Like mine has I showed you the picture, Rob, but like that was the cover I had. But I seen ones at certain record stores that it was just white, and it said John on one, and then there was another one right next to it that was white, and it said Yoko. So obviously they both got their own box sets.
I don't want to know it'd be on Yoko's.
A lot of yeah, you can do her better than I can.
I thought it'd just be like you open
comics?
up the box set and it just says one word, yes.
We just got done talking about you, John, or at least one of your stories anyway.
Yeah, and for anyone who's saying, "Oh, Rob's being racist again," no, that's what Yoko Ono sounds like.
That's what she fucking sounds like. Actually, Rob's doing a better job.
Don't worry, Kyoto. Mommy just looking for your hand in the snow.
And with that, I think we're done.
Yeah, now we're canceled.
Yes.
Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.